Once upon a time, two friends joined forces to bring you the best in horror entertainment. Brian from the north, Tim from the south, each bringing their own unique perspective to the horror community. Movie reviews, Blu-ray releases, beer pairings, games, and more. Welcome to your new home for horror. This is Civil Gore.
All right, hey there, everybody. So we are lucky enough tonight to have two stars of a film we were able to check out called Lookout. And the stars are Meghan Carrasquillo, who is, or I just probably butchered that again, but she says it much cooler than I do. And Trent Culkin. We really love this movie. It was really cool. I watched it today, and we were excited to have them on because we are always love to talk to people who are involved in creating the horror movies that we love. So, guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
So before we discuss Lookout, which I really want to get into because I've got a lot of questions, why don't you each tell us just a little bit about yourselves and kind of how you got started in the film industry?
Okay. Hi, my name is Meghan Carrasquillo. You said it
See, I
great.
told you she said it better, way better.
Much more flair than you, Tim. I'll tell you.
Yes, much more fun. Mine's terrible.
I got started in the film industry probably in 2019, but I started acting and pursuing the arts when I was a kid, starting off with theater, and then I transitioned from doing theater to movies right after college and moved out to LA, and I've been doing film ever since.
I'm Trent Culkin. Thanks so much for the compliment on the movie. I'm really excited that you liked it, and I'm really stoked, to be here and to be able to talk about it. I got started in act, kind of similar to Meghan, deeply creative even in childhood, and did theater in school. And I think the easiest place to track where the professional pursuit began was with my move to Hollywood from Michigan about 10 years ago. And I think for me now, it's been the realization that for me, it's all about sort of spending creative energy on whatever moves me. So I'm doing I came up playing in bands, and I kind of took a break from that to move to LA and to pursue acting. And now I'm just kind of doing everything. And I'm really stoked to have done the movie with Jackrabbit and with Meghan. It was such an awesome experience to work with her and to work with them. But yeah, that's kind of the abridged version of the story. Hollywood hustle for the past 10 years, and it's led me to really exciting places, including Lookout.
Meghan, I wanted a specific question to you because I'm really excited to see this when it comes out. So I know you just wrote and directed your first short. It was called, I guess, Bot or Not. It's called, right? Did I get the title right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, real quick before we get, we'll get into Lookout for sure, but I want to know what was like that film and being on the other side of the camera, as well as basically both sides of that camera in there and both sides of the production. So what was it like to do that?
Yeah, Bought or Not, that was a whole new experience for me in the industry because I not only acted in my own project, but I executive produced, I wrote it. My husband and I, we both directed it together, and it was a huge learning experience on the other end of filmmaking for me. I got a very wide view lens on all things film other than just acting. It was really exciting though. Bought or Not will be my directorial debut. We got into Screamfest for their 25th
Nice.
anniversary in October. So it'll be our LA premiere will be October 11th or 12th. We don't know which day yet, but it'll be premiering at the Chinese Theater in Hollywood at Screamfest.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
congrats.
thank you. We're so stoked. It's a really fun sci-fi thriller about a new AI reality dating TV show where contestants date two people at once, one being a human and one being an AI robot of the human.
Oh,
And it's gonna
wow.
be
That's
a lot of
cool.
fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch, even sitting with it for as long as I have. It's really entertaining just even for myself to watch it. And
That's
Trent is
awesome.
in it. Trent is
Oh,
in it
yes?
too, by the
Oh,
way.
see?
Oh, really?
Oh,
That's
no, I didn't
awesome.
know. Now, look, I should have waited. We were like, this podcast is falling apart, Tim, today. I'm finally get Trent on there, and there he is.
I heard everything you're saying, and I think it's super funny. that you didn't realize we were part of it. Yeah, we met on Lookout, and then yeah, I had the privilege of playing a small role on it, and just to give Meghan the lip service she deserves, despite it being the directorial debut, it was such a pleasure working with her, and she killed it, and it was such a fun experience. And Meghan, congrats on the marriage. She wasn't married when we did the movie; she was about to be, and I'm really happy to be able to tell that to you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, and again, I know I said it before, but yes, an extra congratulations on your recent nuptials. I saw on Instagram all the pictures and stuff, so that was awesome. So
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun being able to. Yeah, I wasn't married when we directed it together, so it was a lot of fun. Wait, he wasn't even my fiance then. He actually was just my boyfriend when we directed it together. It's really cool getting to work with your partner in the industry or in whatever it is that you love creatively. It's super fun. And yeah, it was so cool that I got to meet Trent on Lookout because I remember when we were filming Lookout, we were talking about my short film randomly, and I was like, "You want to be in it?"
Also, I remember the pitch for the movie and being like, "Wow, that sounds so cool!" And it was really fast. It was like came back to LA, boom. She was shooting, it worked out. I was able to do a day with them, and it was so much fun, and it's so cool to see, yeah, just how things work out like that.
Well, let's get into Lookout because I really want to talk about this movie. So, and this is kind of for both of you guys, and I guess we'll just do Megan and then Trent. So, what attracted you to this project? Like, how did this come about? You getting involved in this?
Um, I got involved in the project through mutual people I worked with. So I did a movie with another director who recommended me for this project to Jack. He recommended me to Jack. And then I put myself on tape for it. Uh, Oh, wow. I put myself on tape for this a year before we actually shot the movie because there was a lot of date changes with the film. I was scared it almost wasn't going to happen. And then it came back around a year later, and Jack called me and he's like, "We're going to do it. We have it all locked in. All the permits are good to go." And I was like, "Yes." But what really drew me to Lookout I think was from my initial audition. It was one scene, and I don't want to obviously give anything away about the movie, but the scene itself was so nuanced and it was so simple. And like there was so much simplicity to it that I loved. And there was a lot with the character, Melissa, that I really resonated with and that I loved. And I was just really excited about the unseen and the unknown with Lookout, which you'll see when you watch the movie. I know Tim, you said you watched it. There's a lot of moments where things are unseen, but there you still feel a presence that's there throughout the whole movie, and that's what really drew me to the story. So I, yeah, I was in it from the beginning. I told Jeff, "Let me know when you're ready to film," because I'm super stoked about it. But yeah.
Yeah, and Trent, I know you had a really cool part, which without giving anything away, but
yeah, I know we have to be very careful
we have to be
spoiling
very
because
careful
this
of dancing around
can't be
spoilers.
spoiled.
But so yeah, so how'd you get involved?
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, I don't know how to give insight into the details of this role without spoiling, but I can tell you how I got into it. Brennan Cahala and Stefan Coulson. Brennan is the screenwriter, and Stefan is the director. We worked together on a project that has not come out yet, a feature film called The Tonopah Five. That was our sort of introduction to working with one another, and they had kept me in mind for another script called The Ghost of Red Ridge, which is another Jackrabbit project. We shot that together, and then during that process, Lookout got greenlit by Jack Rabbit as well. And so I was attached to that in that way. I mean, there's so many like it's funny when you track like your movement through projects because again, it can be something like in the case of Megan and I in my doing Bot or Not, we just happen to be working with one another and creatively jived and felt that this is a collaboration that could continue. So for me, I didn't audition. I just was in creative conversations from the very beginning of Lookout. It went through a few rewrites, and it changed dramatically from rewrite to rewrite. And I had some creative input as to how the creature. Again, I don't want to give any spoilers, but yeah, how some of the rules of the creature worked. And yeah, Megan and I met in a meeting pretty early on, before we even had shoot dates set up. And just, yeah, it's really cool to have that sort of creative input and that collaboration. And yeah, again, I feel like it's again, I'm trying to give the abridged version of the story, and I think that's like the most concise bit I can give. Is I had been working with Stefan, Jack, and Brandon, and yeah, we talked about Lookout, and then it went really quick because we were, like Megan said, waiting on permits for the location. It was a lot of red tape, a lot of waiting, a lot of paperwork, and then we finally got the okay to shoot, and then it happened like lightning fast. I was in a play during production of Lookout, and I was flying back and forth because we got the green lit to do the movie, to use the location for the movie, and then kind of had a really tiny window to shoot it. So it was like a do or die sort of having to make it work situation. But yeah, it worked out. It was a lot of fun.
You actually gave. I was gonna keep the what you said, the creature part. I was like, creature? There's a creature, because I didn't want to spoil even that part. But I guess based off if you see the trailer, you're gonna see there's something obviously that's gotta be affecting them in this movie. But but
Yeah,
that's
I want
cool.
to
And
get. I want to give you a more ambiguous soundbite, but I don't really know what else I could say. Like, just determining the rules of the circumstances of the universe.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's Tim. That's the bite he'll take. He'll cut out the part where you see
Yeah,
creature. No, I'm only kidding. No, you could
we'll
keep
totally
creature in there. Yeah. Um, so actually that leads into this next question actually perfectly. First of all, I want to also reiterate, because I know Tim said I absolutely love the film, because I used to there was this video game I played actually that was kind of a similar
Yes,
situation.
I know what you're talking about,
Yeah,
Brian. I know.
Firewatch.
Yeah, Firewatch.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it
where
reminded
it
me
was,
of.
yeah, and they're actually, I think, making a movie on that too, possibly, or something. It's been in works for like years. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but it was the same thing where you took the role of a guy who volunteered to do this Firewatch in this thing, and some weird stuff was going on, and you didn't really know what was going on. And it was one of those. It's a really just like there's a style for that game. I can't remember the name of it, but it's very just slow and methodical, and you just go through each day. You go through it, and like little things happen. Like there's days where you're just literally nothing. You're just walking around, but it's kind of a cool thing. So when I saw the plot to this, I'm like, oh my God, I love that game. This will probably be a really cool movie. And both you were amazing in it. So that what I was going to get to was so most of the time this movie obviously is like outdoors, other than the part when you're in the tower there. What was it like filming in that location like that? Because I know you said there was some red tape to get just the permit, but what was it like going through a set piece like that where it's all outdoors, and you use this giant fire tower essentially as the set pieces on that? What was that like doing that?
I love the outdoors. So for me, it was like a big playground. I loved it so much. It was interesting because it would be freezing cold in the morning, and then it would warm up, I don't know, probably midday, and it'd be blazing hot. And then at night it would get cool again, and the sunset from the lookout tower was just absolutely breathtaking. And that was just our office every single day, from morning until night. It was very surreal. And then I would say for me, and Trent can probably attest to this, it was my first time being around a lot of bees. There was like these bees that were there. I don't even know if they were like they looked like hybrid bees. This is what I tell people. I don't know what type of bees they were, but they tell you don't run away or swat if they land on you. They won't sting. And you could almost guarantee every single time there was bees, like I was running from them every single time. And they're like, don't run. I still ran. But other than that, filming out there was so much fun. They had us stay, I think it was called Happy Jack cabin or something. Yeah, Happy Jack cabin. We all had our own cabins out there, which was really cool. It was a very short drive to set. So we would film all day, and then at the end of the day, we would all do dinner together at back at base camp, which felt like we were truly just camping.
Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah.
it was so much fun. It really felt like we were just out there camping with a bunch of friends because they had a fire on, they had the spread out, whatever they were feeding us that night, and we just would go get our food, sit down at the table right under the stars. It was just, yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then we would all drive back to our cabins, rest up, and get ready for another day. So it was truly the best. I really thoroughly enjoyed the experience of getting to film out there in the actual nature of it all because it made the atmosphere that much more real for me as a character, having to be a ranger in a lookout tower out there. So I used it. I used all the elements around me.
I was gonna say you because you like did that so naturally, like in the opening sequences, where it's I mean, this is not too much of a spoiler, where it's, it basically focuses on your arrival there and your setup. And there's just this one sequence where you walk out and you just kind of take this like deep breath and just like and I'm like, oh my, she must really like to be outdoors because that seems like it just seems so natural the way you did that. Like it seemed like you were like a perfect fit for that role for that.
Yeah, well, when you live in Los Angeles, it really is nice to get out of the city and just breathe in fresh air. So I know I remember what part you're talking about. I definitely was taking it in surreal, very real time. The fresh air out there. It just yeah, it's like nothing else. You can't beat it, and you definitely don't get that type of fresh air in a city, you know? So it's nice to kind
Yeah.
of
Not LA for
experience.
sure.
No,
The
it's nice to
smog.
experience
Yeah.
it.
Nice. What about you, Trent? Did you guys have any like challenges or any kind of interesting things happen due to the fact that it was outside?
I echo the sentiment regarding it being really nice to get out of LA and to kind of go camp, and it really did feel like that. It felt like, yeah, like just an extended camping trip where we got to work every day, and it was really beautiful. And yeah, the bees for sure. Without spoiling anything, being the genre that it's in, you may imagine there may or may not have been fake blood used in this project, and you may know that fake blood contains a lot of sugar, and so bees
Oh, yeah.
crack was an added little bonus when you had some fake blood on you. You were a target for bees, but I don't think anybody got stung, which is nice. Challenges, less to do with the elements, more to do with the some stunt work. There was a rig that required like a complicated sequence of moves. And again, I don't want to give any spoilers, but
It's,
someone may have been, their body may have been slung across the forest. And in making that work, it required a lot of work, a lot of rope work, and a lot of clever camera work. And the day where we spent trying to make this specific stunt happen, we were fighting. It was like the last shot, and we were fighting the sun that was going down. And I was remaining optimistic, but I reached a point where I was pretty sure we weren't going to get the stunt. And then at the very last minute, it all worked out. That was probably one of the biggest challenges. I mean, I really think Megan nailed it. Everything was kind of contained. We kind of just ran that part of Happy Jack, Arizona during our time there. Base camp was a quarter mile away from a lot of the exterior locations we were using, which was a quarter mile away from the lookout tower that we were shooting in. So everything really was we really ate up the space that we were allotted. And it really, I think, as a result, really careful planning and producing, and a lot of talent and thought went into the physical location and how we were going to work it all out. I think everything went as seamlessly as possible. I really think it couldn't have been better.
Yeah, we've had interviews for a lot of horror movies that have taken place outdoors, and it varies from this kind of production where it was very smooth to absolute nightmare
Yeah.
horror stories with weather and whatever. That it's always a challenge filming outdoors. But while I was watching this, I don't know about you, Brian, but when I was watching this, I was thinking, man, this seems like the perfect job for me because I'm like a homebody. Like sitting up in a tower and listening to audiobooks and just watching the tree line would be like, I would be down for that. Like I'd be totally cool with that.
Yeah, well,
Um,
plus because you're higher, because one of the camping experiences that Tim had, his tent was attacked by a person. So that
Yeah,
was,
yeah, that's a long story. I was attacked by a
yeah,
drug-crazy maniac in a
yeah.
tent one time, but
Which one of our own friends brought with us. But yeah, we'll have to tell you that another time. But that
we'll
was
tell you that another time.
it was kind of funny. So that I could see Tim would want just the tower
Yeah, I
aspect
definitely want to be
alone
up
of being away
higher.
from from being
Yeah.
attacked.
Thought you were
So
gonna get attacked by a bear, but I was not
Oh no.
expecting you to
I
no,
say.
think honestly,
the
this was
bear might have
I don't
been
know if the bear could
nicer.
have done much more damage than this guy did to Tim's tent. So
I was not injured in the scenario, so it all turned out. We can laugh about it now. We're
yeah.
all right. So I'm going to skip around a little bit because you guys did a really good job of answering kind of a couple questions we had combined. So this one we always like to ask people involved in these movies, and again we're trying to dance around spoilers, but how would you kind of pitch this film to potential viewers, and kind of what are you hoping the audience gets out of it?
I feel like my biggest pitch to viewers, and it's because I felt this when I read the script, is sometimes the scariest things in life are the unseen things, you know? And that's kind of what I feel that's kind of what I feel like viewers are gonna get from this. There's just such an eeriness, a very ominous feeling throughout the film. And again, I'm not gonna give anything away, but I would say if you love a thrill and you love a little gore and you love a little bit of sci-fi, all of it wrapped up into like one big present, then you really will love Lookout because it has the thrill, it has the gore, it has the um the psychological horror elements, it has the sci-fi elements, it has all those things wrapped into one. And I'm not trying to sound cheesy, but it also has heart behind it too. So yeah, I hope people are excited to, kind of dive into that whole world of things, and I think they'll be impacted by it. So it's fun. It's a fun watch, it's fun to just get a thing of popcorn, sit down, turn off the lights, and just go into a movie that's out in the forest.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
found it. This is not to. I don't want to turn. I don't want people to take this the wrong way. I found it to be a very relaxing movie. Not in terms of
I
what
was no, I know exactly what you
happens, but you
mean.
know what I
It's
mean?
yeah.
Like the setting and the tower and the just like it feels like that peacefulness and tranquility of the forest kind of comes across. Now, obviously, there are things that happen in the movie that interrupt that tranquility, but like watching it, it felt like a very, I don't know, cozy movie. Like I just felt like
Yeah.
I liked being in that little world for an hour and a half kind of thing. I that came across to me in the movie. So
Yeah. No, I was thinking the same thing because it is there's like this like it's kind of interesting. Like when you said, I don't want to be cheesy, it has heart. No, it does have heart. And I think that mixed with the calmness of the outdoors and everything wrapped in, it's like almost like and now I'm gonna sound cheesy. It's almost like it's like a horror film that kind of gives you a hug while it like starts to slowly give you a little bit of terror on it. And I think, that's just a testament to, both your performances in it, the setting, the just all of it in one. And it was really like it's not long either, and it just moves along really at a good pace for something that's like kind of methodical at the same time. Yeah, it's like it's I mean I watched it. I think I watched it 3 times actually because I watched it when we first got it, and then I'm like, all right, let me watch it again, and then I'm like, well, you know what, let me just put it on one more time today before so I had it on, and it is like there's like a really like comfort to it at the same time as it trying to terrorize you, so.
Wow, I haven't seen it, so I'm excited to watch
Oh, you
it.
should watch it. It's really good. There's a great cast in it and everything. No.
I'm so pleased you enjoyed it enough to watch it 3 times. That really means a lot. And yeah, I agree. I mean, I think I think there's so much going on with all of the characters, and there's like an A story and a B story and a C story, and it's not just the horror of the creature or the circumstance or whatever we want to call it. It's the isolation. Like, it's kind of like I don't know. I kind of thought The Shining when I read the first pass of the first script, just like the isolation of being in a lookout tower, the vulnerability of that. And again, she's coming in with her own set of dramatic social circumstances that she's navigating in her own life. It makes sense that, that on its face would be pretty horrifying to have to confront. And I really appreciate you saying the bit about it being the sort of, I don't remember the way you phrased it, but it being like the right length or not too long. Because yeah, I think sometimes less is more. I think I'd rather have an experience where you're like, wow, that was a great ride and it wasn't missing anything and it was lean and mean, rather than the reverse. So I'm really, really happy you had that experience with the movie, and yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, and there was something you said too about with Megan's characters dealing with stuff, and I felt they touched on that. Like, there's I don't want to go into too details. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but there's a theme going on with her character that you kind of touched on. It actually makes it really compelling at the same time, because you think that. I mean, I don't want to give it away. I'm going to say it after we're done
Yeah.
recording. I'll tell you
Yeah.
the specifics I loved about it, but there's just a theme, I think, that you think where Megan's character is one way, but she's turns out to be much different, I think. I'm talking like you're not there, Megan. Your character,
No, yeah,
yeah,
no, I
yeah,
love, no, I love it because
but you
I
know what I
completely
mean.
remove myself from
Yeah.
all the characters I play. So yes, absolutely.
So here's like a fun little question that we haven't asked it in a while, Tim, I feel like, but I feel like this because both of you, I know, I did some research. I know you're both creative in the not just acting, but you've done other things, like we mentioned, Megan's directorial debut and written. So what if you were both, you could obviously answer this separately, but if you're both given the opportunity to create your dream project, where money, resources, etc., all unlimited, there's no budget, there's no resource you can't have, what would you create?
Oh, you can go first, Trent.
Man, dream project. Are we talking about you? I mean, you kind of open this with acknowledging we are creatives in multiple capacities. So I'm assuming this isn't designated to just a movie. This is like whatever I want.
Yes, anything.
Open-ended.
Well, man, I think when you give the freedom for it to be anything, it makes it. I mean, it really depends on what's in front of me. I really, really, that's just been such a big learning lesson for me as an artist is, again, kind of like I said at the top of this, I just made the realization not that long ago, really, that it's all about spending creative energy on what is moving me. And if it's sort of aligned with what I think is my creative purpose, and if I feel like it has potential to change hearts and minds, or to do what art is meant to do, to move people, or to tell a compelling and meaningful story, I'm interested. And like, truly, I don't know how this sounds. I guess I don't really care, but it's like I I don't want to even be affected by it, whether or not it has $1 billion on board, or a $0 budget or whatever. Like, I really. So when you give me the sort of sky's the limit, no restraint, I'm really straining myself to come up with it, because it's like, I guess I'd have to see, like, what's the script, or like what's the concept, or what are we trying to accomplish. So I guess if you're just giving me total creative freedom, I think I would just reel it back, and I would start with the essence, and I would say, I want to do something in a collaborative medium, either music or painting or writing or making a movie. And I want to tell a story or create an experience that gives people a meaningful journey inward, And damn, I'm saying this, and I'm like, fuck, you sound like such a like it just. I don't want to be like a pretentious like art person. I don't know, man. I think again when you take any restraints off it. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to like really land on a dream project without any. It's really what's in front of me. You know, when we were greenlit for Lookout, it was Lookout. Like that's what I want to do. You know, when so damn, was that a weird answer?
No,
No, no,
I was
I
gonna say,
love it because
yeah.
I'm the same way, and not in terms of like necessarily like creative arts and stuff, but I'm the same way. Like I'll get an interest will come in front of me, and then I like deep dive into that, and like that's what I like. That's what I want to do right then, and then something else will come across, and then I jump into that, and like I'm wholeheartedly into that, so I totally understand that mindset of just wanting to do, whatever comes across it, and
Yeah,
that's what you're into at that point, and then there's going to be
yeah.
Yeah.
something else down the road. So I totally get it.
Thank you. I think the way to deliver the most concise soundbite to try to wrap that up into a little bow would be I want to continue to collaborate and create alongside other creative people, and I want to discover that in a meaningful way with whoever's up. Again, like we said, Megan and I had I had the opportunity to continue to collaborate and work with Megan on her short Bot or Not. Like that was a privilege. And I want to keep following those opportunities. And that's really what this journey through like being a professional in the arts has been. It's just been like finding your way into where you fit and where you belong and what moves and drives you and others. And I think that's the biggest point I want to hit too, is like collaborating. This is a collaborative medium. Like just because we're I or have X amount of screen time, or she has X amount of screen time, obviously we're all, you don't see all the stuff that goes into creating those moments and the months of work it took to get to that point. So I just want to keep doing that, and I want to do it devoid of whether or not there's $1 million or $0 on board, if I can have the privilege to continue.
Yeah, and it was definitely not pretentious. It was the actually opposite of pretentious. It felt like you didn't care about what, like if someone gave you $1 billion to do it, you would do it for like, you do something that would cost you one penny, as long as you enjoyed it and did it. That's really what it is all about. So that was a great answer.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I agree too. I think that you just have to go out there and make the film. Because if you're waiting around for all of the boxes to be checked in terms of the biggest one being, the dollar sign, and do we have the means to make this happen? Most likely that film is just going to sit in your brain or on a shelf or on your laptop for many years to come, And I agree with Trent too. It's kind of, what's in front of me right now. What am I passionate about right now? Obviously, I just did the short film for Bot or Not, and my mind for Bot or Not, where it started was I wanted to do this big budget feature film, but I was like, it's gonna if I want to do a sci, because the feature is more sci-fi action versus sci-fi thriller. And I was thinking, if I want to do this as a feature, I have to raise a lot of money for this. And I really don't want to wait. I want to make it now. So, what can I do now to make it and then get to the next step with that? Because my biggest thing is uh, creating art that is not only going to be fun for me to experience as an artist, but it's going to be really fun for everyone else to experience. I get so much joy when I see others having such a great time, whether it's in a movie theater or whether it's in their living room watching something for 2 hours or less that takes them to a completely different world outside of the real world that we live in. And I'm a really big person when it comes to purpose behind a project. I am at a point now in my life where it doesn't matter if it's a big studio picture film or a smaller indie budget film. What's the purpose behind it? What's the story behind it? Am I passionate about it? Is it good writing? Um, am I going to be working with people who are as passionate about this as I am as well? And that goes from the people that are along for the ride in pre-production, filming, and post-production. Because as an artist, when you give your 110%, especially as an actor, you hope and you pray that everyone else that is on that train is going to give their 110% as well, up until the film release. So, um, yeah, I agree in terms of, whatever's in front of me that I'm passionate about at the moment, I intend to make that project, well, the sky's the limit for that. So let's just go all in for that, you know? My answer was very long
Yes.
too,
No, they were like actually two of the best answers we ever got with that question because we
Oh
don't
wow.
always ask it, but when we do, it's always interesting to see what it is. And I could tell you guys both are like, I mean, Megan, not to embarrass you, your face like lit up when you were talking about like how you love to do things like that with a purpose, and how you want to just collaborate, and all these things. So it's like that really, I think I think I make it's the wording of the question makes it seem like it's all about the money, but but you guys read right through that and you got to the heart of that question, which is like, what is a dream project could be just, doing it outdoors on a fire watch. It's like whatever the dream is. So it's kind of no, they're both incredible answers for that. So
Thank you. I think too sometimes being like restricted financially or having to work within a specific set of means, I think kind of takes the pressure off. I think it puts you in a position, again, especially if you're moved by the material, in which you then are focusing on what you can bring to the project, and I think it enhances it in my opinion and in my experience. And maybe it's just also my personal set of preferences. I think keeping things simple, again, back to the length of the movie, you being like it was like a pleasurable ride from start to finish. It's like we don't need to add an extra 40 minutes, or we don't need to have like an explosion in the thing because just because we have the budget for it. It's like, what are we doing to make the most out of what we were given? So in some ways, I think the sky being the limit can complicate things and can kind of cause you to lose sight of like the essence in some situations.
oh yeah, no, that definitely makes sense because we've had a lot of indie filmmakers on, and they always, it's interesting to hear how they get through to their dream with much less means than big Hollywood productions. And honestly, that's what I love about indie films and smaller budget films, because you could just see that the love for the project comes out. And you can also see when someone phones it in. So it's like, but when with indie films, I feel like they always come through with such, not to reuse the word again, but the heart and the passion from the creators and the collaborators on it, just everyone a part of it. You could just see that they're doing it for the love of the craft, not anything else. So
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so we're gonna wrap things up, guys. Again, I appreciate you guys coming on and staying a little late. I know we had a few little hiccups here and there, but it's just a privilege to be able to talk to people, to go watch these movies that we love, and then to have people that were involved in creating them and starring in them and directing them and writing them to come on the show and just share their experience. And we've learned so much about the industry through this podcast and people being gracious enough to come on. So, before we wrap up, I want to make sure our listeners know where they can check out Lookout. When is it going to release? Like, what's the details on how they're going to be able to see this?
Um, if it's so funny, I asked Jack that exact question today, so I could tell you based off of what he sent me. Okay, so for Lookout, so all digital, Apple, Amazon, Google, etc., and then also Blu-ray and DVD. And I
oh
think
yes.
it goes to AVOD. I think he said, let me double check. I'm pretty sure it was on Halloween. I think it's October 31st when it goes to AVOD and Tubi and all of that.
Oh
So
nice.
yeah, so September 2nd is when you can start streaming it, buying it on, Amazon, Apple, all of those platforms, all of the digital platforms like that.
Nice. I'm definitely going to buy the Blu-ray. I have a massive, I have a big Blu-ray collection. So and especially now it'll be even better because I love the movie so much. It'll be a great addition. I can happily add that to my collection.
Oh, I love that.
So
All
yeah,
right.
so
Well,
everyone, yeah, so thank you both for coming on. So
yeah. Thank
and
you guys.
for chatting with us with all this, and everyone, all the listeners, please go check out Lookout. I think you're gonna really love it. This Tim and I, Tim and I tend to like, we love to help promote films, but we love to help even promote it when it's films we love so much that we got to actually see, experience, and chat with people about. So we're super happy and to be able to share that. So make sure everyone checks that out. And yeah, so thank you guys so much.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
guys. It was so much fun getting to talk with you. And thank you again for watching our movie and all the kind words. It means the world to us.
You're welcome.
Truly. Thank you all so much. It was such a pleasure.